Thanks for joining us for 3 out of our 4 segments here on the Neighborhood Network. Joining me is John Wimbish. And of course, John, this has been quite an interesting segment that we've done, or series that we have done. This being the 3rd segment. People have met you in our 1st segment. In the 2nd segment, we begin to touch on a few issues. Now being the 3rd segment, we're really going to get into some of the issues that people face in the 9th District.
And not just the 9th District, but it's everywhere. When you're talking about being in the House of Representatives at a federal level, there's so many issues that affect all of us. And there are things that aren't happening here that we do need to get control of, just to live in a better country. And we're going to talk about some of that. Some of the things that I've done lately on social media with Black Lives Matter group, or terrorist organization, as I like to call them.
Okay.
We'll talk about that a little bit and how that's going. So we're going to try to cover a lot, but also want people to know where I stand on, important issues for the 9th District, but also where I stand in general for things that affect us at a federal level, and that the fact that I'm not afraid to stand up to anybody or say what needs to be said. And that's what we need more of, not career politicians and people that are too afraid to say the wrong thing.
Right. Now, if you are joining us, and of course, if you're joining us live on social media, you could be watching this on television as well. But if you are joining us live on social media, we're doing this for a purpose, so you can post some of your questions and some of your comments on our social media site, and then John will do a follow-up here. John, just touch base really quick with the people and tell them a little bit about yourself, if in case they missed the first couple of segments, and let's plug your website real quick and how they can get in contact with you. And one of the easiest ways I feel like to get in contact with you is through social media. And that's one of the reasons why I asked you. I said, when you got here, I said, are you okay? Well, let's go Facebook Live. And he's like, let's go Facebook Live.
I love Facebook Live. I've done so many of those, and people really seem to take to them very well.
Awesome.
It's been a big boost for us, and it has been shared all over the district, even outside of the district. I talked to a lady today in Houston, Texas, that saw some of my videos. I agreed with some things, didn't agree with others, but in the end, it was a great conversation.
Great.
So it's worked out very well. But my name's John Wimbish. I'm from Henry County. I lived here my whole life. I served in the Army on active duty for 5 years. I served in Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2004 to 2005 as a military police officer. Came back and sold cars. I worked in the funeral industry for quite some time. Sell insurance now, and I'm taking this on, knowing it's an uphill battle. It's a David and Goliath versus, type battle. But the biggest thing for me is just telling the truth, educating people, and standing for something. I can sit at home and complain about it, or I can stand up and do something about it. And so that's what I've decided to do. If you want more information about where I stand on issues, because we're definitely not going to get to them all in 30 minutes, you can go to votewimbish.com. Click on the issues. It'll show you just about every issue that there is and where I stand on it, and why I believe what I believe with those issues. If you need to register to vote, you can register to vote from my website. Right there, you don't have to go to the DMV anymore. You can do everything right there. So any information you need is there. Facebook.com/VoteWimbish is another great social media outlet that I have. A lot more videos and things on there that when I'm sitting around the house and get bored or get fired up, I fire up the Facebook Live and go at it. And it's worked out very well. So if you want to reach me, you can do it through Facebook or email me on votewimbish.com.
All right, if you are following us on Facebook Live, which some of you are currently right now, I'm seeing a lot of posts are being made and a lot of questions are being posted, so we'll get to that in just a moment. If you are watching us live on BTW21, we do have a lower third that will give that website, so people can go to that website at any time and not only contact you, ask questions, but they can register to vote as well?
You can register to vote from the website. It gives you all the information you need. If you're handicapped, disabled, or need some assistance, you can read everything that you need there, contact your local office and let them know what you'll need the day of election. If you need to register as an absentee ballot, it gives you all the information on how to do that. So if you have any questions about how you vote or where you vote, you go to my website, everything's answered for you.
Okay, and when you say this is like an uphill battle, explain that to the viewers and to the voters, simply because you're not on the ballot, correct?
I'm not, and that's the way that the two-party system works, and they like it. Some states are getting away from this petition system. There's a petition that you have to have signed by 1,000 registered voters. The problem with that is You need about 1,500 for the state to even look at it. And then a lot of people that sign it aren't registered to vote, or they have felonies and they can't vote, and they don't want to tell you that. So somebody small like myself, when I have a job, I had about 10 people helping me. They all have jobs. Made it very difficult for us to get that. Also, people don't want to sign anything that's going to the government because they don't trust our government right now, so they just declined to sign it. It's not so much that they didn't like me, just the fact they don't like our government. So it made it very difficult, and I realized I didn't want to put anybody in a weird position or do anything immoral that people are just going to write down names. So I'd rather just run as a write-in, do what I need to do, and do it that way. And in Martinsville, Henry County, they do a paper ballot. So if you want to write my name in, or anybody else for that matter, you just mark the box that says write in and spell my name. It's JOHNWIMBISH.
And we've got to make sure it's B-I.
B-I-S-H. It has to be spelled correctly or it will not count.
Okay, and that does make sense. Okay, now that we've gotten all that out of the way, we can dive right into the issues. And those are the issues that matter most to the people of the 9th District. Now, if people are wondering where they are in the 9th District or where that is, that's on your website as well.
That's on my website
so we won't
also.
dive into that.
Yeah.
Let's dive right into the main issue. And what's number one on your list?
The biggest thing in the 9th District is jobs and how we can create them. And here in the last couple of weeks, we've seen a decline in jobs here in Martinsville, Henry County. Mm-hmm. And I also have something to say about that, and we'll get into that in a little bit. The issue that I have with the current Congressman, Morgan Griffith, is he's been in for 6 years. He's done absolutely nothing. He brings no jobs here, not one. He's not responsible for contacting anyone to create any jobs. But he doesn't mind taking, a lot of money, and he takes money from companies that are even shutting down in our district and leaving people without jobs. And I don't understand how you can justify that. You're going to put people in my district out of work, but I'm going to take money from you at the same time. It doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense to the company because they want what they want. So far this year, Morgan's raised over $600,000. The Democrat that's running has raised $25,000. And I'm doing this almost all by myself. I have had some generous people help me out, and I really appreciate that. And it's been a great help. We've had signs up, and we've had signs up before Morgan had them up. And now you see his signs out there, and he's taking advantage of the Trump name and being beside of his sign. Mm-hmm. But he also hasn't come out and endorsed Trump in any way, shape, or form other than to say that Trump will help create jobs. And evidently he thinks that's the president's job and not his, which is not the case. So jobs here, not just in Martinsville, Henry County, but the entire 9th District is a huge deal. There are a lot of people without jobs. There are people in the mining areas of Virginia that need those jobs. They want them. They're good paying jobs. It's how they provide for their families. We need to do things to bring more corporations here. And, we touched on this one time before about, but people think I'm anti-corporation. I'm not anti-corporation. I'm anti-corporation corruption. That's the problem I have. We need to overturn Citizens United, which is allowing companies to pay politicians enormous amounts of money. A company is not going to give me $100,000 because they think I'm a fantastic individual.
Or a great speaker.
Even that, because I'm not that either. Right. So if they give a politician money, it's because they expect something for it. And if you look at Morgan Griffith's voting record, which is also on my website, and you can go to Congress's website and look up every single thing about him, every single vote. He's voted against our environment every time except one vote. It's 52 votes, and he's voted against our environment 51 times. He's on the Energy Committee. He gets hundreds of thousands of dollars from energy companies that have been proven and found to be polluting our environment, putting harmful chemicals in the air that are giving people cancer. He doesn't know anything about it. He isn't looking into it. He doesn't seem to really care, which isn't surprising. But he takes in a lot of money. And so if you look at his voting record, it speaks for itself, really, as far as corruption goes at a corporate level. But corporations are great. Corporations create jobs. They bring jobs, and we need to keep those. We've got Ford that's going to Mexico, Fiat Chrysler going to Canada. They're going to be leaving people without jobs, and you're talking thousands and thousands of jobs. That's a big deal. And there's so many great people here in this state, in this district, that want to work. But we also need to focus on the type of jobs that young people want to have.
Right.
Factories are great, and they were great here for a very long time. But you have to look at younger generations and what appeals to them and what keeps them here. Mm-hmm. Instead of when we have people graduating and going to college, they want to come back home. They don't. They go other places. I know people that move from here to Illinois for a job, great jobs. but why can't we have them here? And it's just because nobody's working hard enough and working with economic development teams to make it happen. And I know that as a fact because I know people that deal in economic incentives and people on economic development boards, and nobody's talked to Morgan Griffith. He doesn't care. And maybe he doesn't care, or maybe he's too busy being a telemarketer 50% of his time raising money for his party.
All right, you take a deep breath. Let me plug a couple of things. If you're watching us on Facebook and Facebook Live, continue to watch and ask your questions. I can see there are multiple questions being asked, and of course you are very interactive with folks that are with us on social media, so we'll continue to have this conversation even after we cut away for a commercial break. Our producer, do we have a lower third with the website on it? Okay, we'll try to insert that maybe later on because I thought we had one. I want people to know that they can go to the website. And what's the website again?
VoteWimbish.com.
VoteWimbish.com. Now, when you go to that website, you're able to connect with you right away because you seem to think or say your opponents are just not able to communicate with the people.
They don't communicate with the people. You go to Morgan Griffith's Facebook page and look at the comments that people have on there, asking him, what are you going to do to bring jobs here? What about the mining jobs here? What about this bill? What about that? When are we going to see you? And you can't ever see the guy. He's never around. He comes around when it's time to vote. Oh man, when it's election season, he's around.
Is this one of the things that you really want to change about this whole situation, is that you're able to be in contact with you? You'll respond to the people?
Absolutely. And obviously, if you're a congressman and you represent, a district of over 700 and some thousand people, I understand it's very difficult to always get back to people, but you can get back to people at some point. I've even received, the generic, thank you for contacting us letter that's sent by someone in his office. The point of voting for your congressman every 2 years is because they're supposed to be around. They're supposed to be with the people and listening to you and your concerns. Working to create jobs, working to help you have a better environment. And that does not happen anymore. Because they're so worried about raising money for their party, the more money they raise, the better it is for them. The longer they can stay in power, the harder it is to get them out. And I'm a big advocate of term limits, 6 years, and you should move on. Do something else. He's an attorney. Surely to goodness he can go back to doing that, make a pretty good amount of money, be pretty happy with himself.
You would hope.
You would think so. Yeah. But, as far as, being around the people, and it's on his Facebook page, you can still go see it for yourself. People have never met him. I've talked to very high-ranking officials here in Henry County, Patrick County, Lee County, all through this district. People say they've never met the guy. People who run elections around have never met the guy, and they've met every other congressman that the state of Virginia's ever had. And that's pretty sad when you think about it. That really finding him is harder than playing Marco Polo with Helen Keller. So it doesn't make any sense to me why you want to be so unreachable to your people, and you're asking them for their vote.
Right. So you're going to make yourself available. So, folks, if you're watching on our social media site, if you have any questions for John, feel free to message him through our social media site, just like you are now. I see several more questions that are popping up. And I don't mean to be disrespectful in calling you John, but I think that's what you want to be called.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you want to know a lot of people in our community on a first name basis because you want to represent us.
I do, and I want people to contact me. If you don't agree with something I'm saying, that's fine. I want to know. The only way that we can, come to a better understanding and work together is to collaborate, create a dialogue, talk to each other, and let's figure it out. There are many times where I'll talk to somebody, I may change their mind, and there are times that people talk to me, and it's a very good point and a very good opinion, and I might have a different opinion about it. Yeah. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm perfect or I'm right. I don't claim to be an expert in every facet of government, and that's the problem. As soon as you get elected, all of a sudden you're an expert in everything government, every single thing, and that's not true. Being, previous law enforcement, military, national security, things like that. I know a lot about that. I think I would excel at that. When it comes to things like energy and so forth, I'm not going to pretend like I know all that. Nobody has all the answers, but if you surround yourself with good people, you do. If you listen to people in your district, there are a lot of very intelligent people out here that just don't want to run because they don't want the headache.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that I've spoke to from here to Bristol that are very intelligent and they should be running. But if you listen to the people around you, it's a big help. And so I appreciate it when people reach out to me, and I want to answer people, and I'm okay with people disagreeing with me. I even respond to people that do disagree with me.
I want to tell you this, John. I don't think a lot of people are going to disagree with the second thing on your list. I really don't. So and time really flies.
It does.
So let's get to the second thing on your list. What is it?
At gun control. Gun control, gun control, gun control.
Mm-hmm.
I am all for the Second Amendment. If you're a law-abiding citizen, you have the right to protect yourself, protect your family, protect your neighbor. The Democrats are out to stop that. Hillary Clinton has come out and said she is against anything to do with the Second Amendment. People can say all they want, that she hasn't ever come out and said, I'm against the Second Amendment. She has said it without saying it in those words, because only an idiot would say it that way. And if you think that she's not after it, then something's wrong with you. You know, and people in this district, I love it, because they're all about wanting to protect themselves and own as many guns as possible. And you don't see anybody going crazy about it. And we keep seeing how owning a firearm and being able to carry a firearm saves lives.
Right.
The stabbing in Minnesota just the other day, 9 people were stabbed. There was an off-duty police officer carrying, was able to kill the man. There was an incident in a Walmart parking lot. We just keep being shown over and over and over again why we need our guns, why law-abiding citizens should have a right to carry and conceal carry. And there are many people that want to argue with you about this, but the facts are the facts. And if you look them up online, you look up the facts in Australia, for instance, huge gun control, huge crime, huge gun crime. Chicago, one of the strictest gun control cities in America, huge gun crime. A lot of black-on-black violence, but a lot of gun crime. So gun control is not the answer. It's not a magic wand that we're going to wave over this problem with gun violence. We're going to have more. And then the other reason we need our guns is because people are coming into this country to try to destroy us. That's what they want. These radical Islamic terrorists, they're not here to be friends with us. They're not peaceful. All this junk about Islam is so peaceful. Well, then why every week are we hearing more and more about another Islamic terrorist shouting Allah Akbar and trying to kill people? And we're supposed to sit here and just take it and keep our mouths shut and not have our guns? No. We need our guns, and they're not going anywhere.
And that's your. Tell me how you really feel about it, John.
I'm getting pretty fired up, actually, but I do. And when I do Facebook Live videos, I get even more fired up. So some people may not like it, but a lot of people do. I mean, I really am passionate about it. I really want to make a difference and do something to help people and make people proud. It's good when you can do good things for people.
Yeah.
And you can make a difference, whether it's, coaching a little league basketball team like I do and having an impact on their life. And I had fun with that. And I'm not going to stop doing that either. So we're going to keep going with that.
Yeah.
I want to make a difference. That was the whole reason I joined the military, was to stand up and do something. And I knew that we were going to war. I mean, it was already happening. When I was in basic training, it was the first year. I want to make a difference and be a part of something and be able to say, when I leave this world, I did something to leave it in a better place for my children. Because when I look at them now, I'm honestly scared about which direction we're going. And I'm scared of the direction we're going with even, the term millennials, these younger people that have their hand out all the time. And they think that the government owes them something. They don't want to have to work for anything. That's not what this country was ever founded on. That's not what generations before us have ever done. There are folks that I talked to that started working when it paid them 75 cents an hour, but they worked hard. And that's what America is based on, is working for what you deserve. Middle-class families have been taken advantage of for too long, and nobody's stepping up to the plate to help them. Donald Trump wants to help them. That's the thing. People can think whatever they want, but Donald Trump is here to change how we have always done things in politics and change everything about this government. And I really believe he wants to create a better environment for us and protect Americans. And that's what we need to do. And that's part of, going back to gun control, that's part of it too. Yes, we are a nation of immigrants, okay? But we have fought for this nation for quite some time. We've gone to war and fought for our Constitution, fought for our rights, and we're an established nation now. We have the right to say what we want. We have a right to say, you're welcome here, you're not welcome here. We accept this, we don't accept that. We have that right. We don't have to have free and open borders and just take in anybody just because we're America and we're supposed to be everybody's savior. We're America and we're great. because of the people that have come before us, because of the soldiers that have fought before us, because of law enforcement that goes out every day and tries to protect us. That's what makes us great. Not the fact that we're worried about letting 600,000 Syrian refugees come over here. And by the way, they're not refugees. They all look like stinking soldiers if you look at them. We don't need that over here. And they continue to show us why we don't need them over here. You don't have to sit here and preach about we don't need refugees here. Every week, we hear another story about how another refugee or somebody that Obama released from Guantanamo Bay went back and they're back in terrorism, or they're creating terrorist activities or trying to kill people. They're giving us the proof and the whole reason why they shouldn't be here.
All right, now you take a deep breath, okay? What we're going to do, let me plug our Facebook here again, and I'll tell you what we're going to do. Our producer's got his hands full, but what we're going to do, I can see this needs to be done. In our final segment, we will have more interaction with our Facebook Live because there are multiple questions that are being asked now. It's multiple conversations going on, and it's hard for us to get involved in that because we've got a list of things that we want to get out to the public as well. Plus, we're plugging your website. Plus, you know, we're trying to send people in the right direction to ask questions, to be more active here. So, in our fourth segment, we will. When we go Facebook Live, we will be more interactive. What I'll do, I'll search through those lists of questions that are being asked, and we'll ask you directly on air some of those questions. So let's get back to your list then. But if you want more information about John, go to the website. We'll put the lower third up throughout the program, and then we'll also we'll interact with Facebook Live too as soon as we go to our commercial break here at the bottom of the hour. So we'll get back to your list here, John. What is something else that is really an issue in the 9th District?
Well, it's something that's an issue for everybody, and the reason I want to bring it up now is because, well, I've brought it up before, but Trump's starting to bring it up, and I feel great about it, and that's having maternity leave available for women. You know, in this country, we don't, unless your employer offers it. You can get 12 weeks of unpaid leave through FMLA, and that's just unacceptable. You know, people cannot afford to go without pay. Middle-class families can't afford to go without pay. Good people are trying to start families. They should be given an opportunity to do that. And we can protect people with that. The money that we spend on all this ridiculous stuff, you know, we talked about the VA spending $20 million on artwork, you know, and all the money that the parties raise. We can do so much for people. If we would just get it together, just get our stinking act together and do the right thing. You know, Mexico offers 12 weeks of paid leave. Mexico does. Mexico offers 12 weeks of paid leave. Finland offers 121 weeks.
Wow.
Of paid leave. Now, their taxes are extremely high there.
Let's say that's where you want to go to make babies.
If you want to go anywhere, if you're one of those people that wants to move, if Clinton gets elected or Trump, go to Finland.
But you know, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, in the old days, a lot of the women, they stayed at home. That's where they had the babies. This maternity leave really wasn't that much of an issue. The day and age that we live in, there are a lot of women that have careers, and then they you know, start a family, and it's not fair.
It's not, and obviously, everyone's entitled to work. You know, women deserve the same things as men, all that. It's a tough time to live. Everything's very expensive. You know, both have to work now. You know, man, wife have to work. So that's just how it is. But we can fix that. That's too easy. And I'm glad that Trump's on board with that, and he is, and that's something that he's going to fix. But it's something I've been talking about for quite some time. It'd be way too simple to fix. So I'm really excited about that, to see how that goes, because women do deserve that. You deserve time to be at home with your child and not having to worry about how you're going to pay bills. I know people that have to figure out how to keep the lights on, and that's just not fair to good people that are just trying to start a family, or, you know, even have more children and have a bigger family. Some people want huge families.
Yeah, well, you're not looking at one of them. 2 is enough for me. But again, I encourage you, if you're following us on social media, and of course a lot of people that are watching right now on BTW21, you can flip over to our social media site and you can see our live video feed as well. And we are communicating with our folks on our live video feed. And when we get off the air here, we'll continue with our live video feed because I think it's important for people that are following us to be able to have this conversation. So We are almost at our 2-minute warning now, and this program is a little different than some in the past because we're being a little more interactive because we're doing Facebook Live as well. But in the last couple of minutes, what do you want to share with the folks?
I've got two more things I'd really like for people to know. Obviously, healthcare is a big issue. We need to get rid of Obamacare. It's a failure, and we will get rid of it. People were paying $400. You know, if you had a family now, they're paying $1,400. It's been a massive failure. Insurance companies are dropping out. So it's going to have to be overhauled. It's inevitable. It's going to have to happen. Now, here's the thing. So many people ask me where I stand on some issues, and here's one that it's called Black Lives Matter. And here's where I stand with Black Lives Matter. I despise them. I despise what they stand for. They're a terrorist organization who only incite riots, and they destroy cities. They're not about equality. They want to call everyone a racist. The definition of racist is someone who believes that their race is superior to others. When you're having a rally and an African-American female is standing up with a bullhorn telling white people to move to the back, that's a racist organization. I want to do everything I can to stop that organization because they don't stand for equality. They're not helping African-Americans, and it's been proven. I went to D. Ray McKession's Facebook. He's one of the leaders of Black Lives Matter. Ask him a million questions. Relevant questions about what it is that they actually stand for. What's the point that they're trying to make? And he never would respond to me. I finally got on there and blew the whistle on him for taking in $30 million that he did not share with anyone in the African American community. He did not donate a dime of it to any charity or scholarship. He's using it all for himself to run for mayor of Baltimore. $30 million. But he's all about equality. I'm completely against them. And they cannot sit here and continue to say that they're oppressed. How are they oppressed? We have an African American in the White House. We have African Americans in the House and the Senate. People that are sheriffs, police officers, fire departments. There are people in the African American community that are wonderful people that are against the Black Lives Matter movement. I know because I've talked to them. My problem with them is the liberal side of this, of where they are owed everything and they can say whatever they want to say and they're never held accountable for it. And they can call for dead cops, they can burn cities, they can tell you to go burn down white suburbs and all, and we're supposed to just sit back and be okay with that. So they're not the oppressed anymore. The real oppressed people are the Christians who are told to sit down and shut up. You have a right to your religion, but only as far as we let you talk about it. And it's time that everybody continues to stand up, go after these people, say what you need to say, because when I did it, I never got a response, and when I finally blew the whistle on him, he blocked me, took off everything. I had probably 35 people message me, and they were like, I can't believe that. They didn't know anything about it. So when you stand up for what's right and you tell the truth, you have nothing to run from and nothing to be afraid of, no reason to hide from anybody.
Wow, I gave you 2 minutes and you filled it all up. Then you done good.
I could go much
better
longer.
now?
Yeah, I feel a little bit better.
Great. All right, we got to wrap this up. I want you to keep it here on the Neighborhood Network. Of course, we've got great more local programming coming up next. And of course, you can always follow us on social media, and we encourage you to go to the website as well. Keep it here on BTW 21, your Neighborhood Network.
If you're like most of us, you probably think hearing happens in your ears. In fact, it's what's in between your ears that counts. Inside your brain. That's where sound becomes information. It makes sense to take care of your hearing health the same way you care about your overall health. Hearing care is healthcare. Introducing brain hearing technology by Oticon. A new way to help your brain hear more naturally, finely tuned to your unique hearing profile. Offered in a wide range of styles, fitting options, colors, and price points. Achieving 96% patient satisfaction in both new and experienced hearing device users. Go online or call us now to give your brain exactly what it needs to hear. Brain hearing technology, powered by Oticon.
September will be the month to remember for getting the best deal on a new car at Blue Ridge Nissan in Martinsville. That's right, get rid of that old car you've been driving and save up to $7,500 right now at Blue Ridge. Plus, with our guaranteed credit approval, you're guaranteed to be driving home a new car today. Don't wait around and let someone else get the deal you deserve. This deal ends when 75 people have saved thousands. Blue Ridge Nissan in Martinsville, across from the Speedway on Greensboro Road, or visit theblueridgeway.com.
Family Pharmacy in Stewart is now open, proudly serving the residents of Patrick County.
We'd like to invite you to come visit us and get all your prescription needs and healthcare needs filled here. We save you money on your prescriptions. We offer free delivery. We offer a family atmosphere. We treat you like family.
Family Pharmacy in Stewart is located at 301 South Main Street, 276-694-4586.
Come see us today.